So guys, let's understand the concept of oxymercuration and demercuration reaction. This is one more method for the preparation of alcohols from alkenes. Now in oxidation demercuration method, what do? We take an alkene, unsymmetric alkene. We take unsymmetric alkene, or we can take symmetric alkene. That we take unsymmetric alkene. This is an unsymmetric alkene. We treat it with mercuric acetate. That's mercury ions. Hg OAC, OAC. This is mercuric acetate. How can we obtain this mercuric acetate? We can obtain it like this. Mercuric acetate, Hg2 plus. This is a metal. We treat it with acetic acid, salt of acetic acid. That is C double bond O. That is OC double bond O CH3. That is acetate means this OAC. It means O C double bond O CH3. This is acetate. This acetate has been obtained from acetic acid, while we have removed this hydrogen atom. And one other molecule of acetate. These acetates, they react with mercury ions. This negative charge reacts with mercury plus, and this is one more acetate ion. This is called HgOAC OAC. Now this HgOAC, it will be attacked by mercury is a metal. This OAC leaves, therefore positive charge is created. It is attacked by this pi bond. Means I broke this pi bond towards this side. It becomes negatively charged and it attacks mercury ion. Now there is lone pair of it's a metal. Metal donates electrons. These electrons will be attacked over here. Now what we will get? We will get mercurium ion like that of brominium ion intermediate. Now this is CH, this is our Hg, and this is our CH2, and to this mercury we have OAC. This is like we have cyclic brominium ion intermediate in case of alkenes. Here we have mercurium ion intermediate. Now see, the bond has to be broken down. In the next step, this is called mercuration. I have added mercuric acetate to it. After this, the reaction is called mercuration. These are the steps of mercuration. It's called mercuration. That's why the reaction has been given the name. And after this, what happens? Demercuration means loss of mercury. First addition of mercury, that's mercuration. Then loss of mercury, that is demercuration. Loss of mercury is carried out with the help of water. Now see, here I have to break this bond. Either I can break this bond or I can break this bond. I have to break the bonds which are bonded to the mercury. Now I can break this bond, I can break this bond. If I break this bond, I will get, if I break this bond will break towards this positive charge. I will get positive charge on this carbon atom. Now see, I have broken this bond towards mercury. Positive charge comes over here. It's a primary carbocation. Now if I break this bond, what happens? If I break this bond, what happens? Positive charge is created over here. This is a secondary carbocation. Secondary carbocation is more stable. Hence this bond is to be broken down. Now remember which bond you are going to break, which will lead to the formation of more stable species. For example, over here we are breaking this bond. This bond is more substituted. It has 2 substituents, and this bond has only 1 substituent. The more substituted bond is to be broken down. Now we break this bond towards this, positive charge will get vanished, and this will become del positive. It will be attacked by water molecule. What we are going to get? CH3, CHO, H, single bond, CH2, single bond, Hg, single bond, OAC. Now this thing we are going to get single bond CH, single bond CH2, single bond Hg, single bond OAC. Now see, positive charge will be created over here because lone pair attacks. Now what happens? This OAC abstracts this bond breaks. We get OAC minus. This OAC minus abstracts this proton. We get what type of product over here? CH3, single bond CH, single bond OH, single bond CH2, single bond Hg. Now what happens? This bond breaks. Mercury is a metal. It will lose electrons. Electrons will be lost towards this side. It will be abstracted by proton. Proton is present. Since there is plenty of water, from water we can get this proton or this ACOH, what is formed over here, ACOH. It will lose its proton. It will get back to OAC minus, and this proton will attack over here. Overall, the reaction seems to be we get over here secondary, matlab 2-propanol. I mean that we get 2-propanol. That is secondary alcohol. Overall, the reaction seems that overall, the reaction involves addition of water. H positive is added to this carbon atom, which bear maximum number of hydrogen atoms, and OH is added to this carbon atom, which bear minimum number of hydrogen atoms. Means the reaction follows Markovnikov rule. Now see, we have discussed it. I might have written it wrongly in the last lecture. Please correct it over there. The product, correct product over there. Now see. Let us do certain questions on this. Now let us do question number 1. Let us take this type of compound. Now this is our alkene. Now to this alkene you have to bring about hydrolysis. H2O, that's H positive, OH negative. Now this alkene, to this alkene you have to bring about hydroboration oxidation. Hydroboration oxidation means BH3 in presence and sodium hydroxide and O2 peroxide. And similarly, or H2O2, even we use H2O2 peroxide. Similarly, we can have alkene. To this alkene we are adding mercuric acetate, HgOAC whole twice. Now what will be the products? Now see, this alkene is, this is CH2, CH, single bond CH2, means this is unsymmetric alkene. Now in this unsymmetric alkene, this is sp2 hybridized carbon, this is sp2 hybridized carbon. If I write it like this, it will be like this, CH, double bond CH2. Now this is sp2, this is sp2. What I have said you, in case of addition of water, H positive adds to that carbon atom which bears maximum number of hydrogen atoms, and OH negative to that which bears less number of hydrogen atoms. Means positive part adds to that carbon which bear maximum number of hydrogen atoms, and negative part to that which bear minimum number of hydrogen atoms. Therefore H positive will be attacked over here, OH will attack over here. Therefore our product will be like this. This is the mechanism, general mechanism shown over here. This will be our OH and this will be our, this will be our OH and this will be our what, CH3. Now this is the product. Now what in case of hydroboration? Same mechanism takes place, but in case of hydroboration, the electrophile over here is boron's empty p orbital. Therefore it seems that over here hydrogen attaches to that carbon atom which bears less number of hydrogen atoms, and OH attached to this carbon atom which bears maximum number of hydrogen atoms. In case of hydroboration, what we are getting, this H positive, it's also overall addition of water. This H positive gets attached to which carbon atom which bears less number of hydrogen atom, and OH to this. This we have discussed from mechanistic point of view, where we have discussed that it is the empty p orbital, pz orbital of boron which acts as an electrophile. That's why we get 1-propanol over here, or the product OH group at the terminal position. In this case we get OH group at terminal position. In this case we get OH group at terminal position, means the product will be CH2OH. This will be the product. But you have to only to remember that in case of hydroboration, OH group will be at the terminal position of alkene. At the terminal position of alkene, if this alkene is terminal, then. Now in case of oxymercuration and demercuration, OH is attached to this carbon atom and H to this carbon atom. We have just seen its mechanism. This is our OH and this is our CH3. If I not write, then it is treated as CH3. This is how you have to approach the problems. Let us take one more example. These are practice questions for you now. I will write here practice questions. Now practice questions. Do practice to get the answer of these questions. Number first, bring about hydrolysis, bring about hydroboration oxidation, and bring about what? Oxymercuration, demercuration reaction. This is first question. You have to bring about three products. Product 1, that is from here you have to bring about its hydrolysis, and from here you have to bring about its hydroboration oxidation, BH3, NaOH, H2O2, and from here you have to bring about mercuric acetate, that is mercuration, oxymercuration, demercuration. The number of problems I will quote over here. In all those examples you have to predict these three products. Now one more example I will write over here is this is an alkene. To this alkene you have to carry out addition of water by hydroboration, addition of water by oxymercuration, demercuration, and by hydrolysis. Now this is sp2 hybridized carbon. It does not contain any hydrogen. It does, therefore hydrogen attached over here, OH over here in case of hydrolysis. Now we will name it as hydroboration oxidation, HB oxidation, OD, and we will name this as, it is just a shortcut name, this name does not exist in any book, oxymercuration, demercuration, OMDM. Now bring about hydrolysis, bring about HBOD, and bring about OMD. By doing these examples, you will also remember the names of the reagents that is involved in different reactions. Now let me have one more example over here. This is one more example. Bring about these three types of reactions: hydrolysis, HBOD, and OMDM. Now let us take one more type of preparation. This was one method of preparation of alcohols from alkenes. There were three different ways by which alcohols were prepared from alkenes. There are other methods by which alcohols are prepared from alkenes. One is called ozonolysis of alkenes. From ozonolysis we get aldehydes as well as alcohols. We will see that part in case of aldehydes and ketones. Now number second method. Number second method is reduction method. Reduction method, or reduction of carbonyl compounds. Reduction of carbonyl compounds. Now what are carbonyl compounds? Reduction of carbonyl compounds. Let me check the quality of the video. Reduction of carbonyl compounds. Now what are carbonyl compounds? Carbonyl compounds are those compounds which contain carbonyl group. Carbonyl group is C double bond O. This is a carbonyl group. To this carbonyl group there are more two valencies. All those compounds which contain this carbonyl group, they are called carbonyl compounds. Now there are different classes of these carbonyl compounds. We have aldehydes, we have ketones, we have acids, we have derivatives of acids. They all are carbonyl compounds. Reduction of carbonyl compounds. Now see, reduction can be carried out. Now first, what is reduction? Reduction is either loss of hydrogen, reduction is, sorry, I'm very sorry. Reduction is addition of hydrogen. It's addition of hydrogen as H negative ion, hydride ion. Addition of hydrogen as H negative ion, or it is gain of electrons. Gain of electrons, because in the coming reactions we will come across certain reactions where there is electronic reduction. For example, Birch reduction. Now this is reduction. Now how can we bring about reduction? In order to bring about reduction of different compounds, we have to remember certain reducing agents. Now reduction is brought about by reducing agents. It is brought about by reducing agents. Now what is reducing agent? Reducing agent is one which itself gets oxidized. There are number of reducing agents gets oxidized. Now our reducing agent will be one which will give us hydride ion, H negative ion. This H negative ion will act as a reducing agent. This will bring about process of reduction. Now see, we have different reducing agents. First we will name certain reducing agents. We have lithium aluminum hydrate as a reducing agent. Now lithium aluminum hydrate is our lithium plus and Al, H, H, H and H minus. Now this is the structure of lithium aluminum hydrate. Means this part of lithium aluminum hydrate is minus part. Or this part can break down. It can give H negative over here, H negative over here, H negative over here, H negative over here. Means this is hydride donor. This is hydride donor. This hydride ion, this is used for reduction. This is one reducing agent, lithium aluminum hydrate. This reducing agent, lithium aluminum hydrate, it's a strong reducing agent. It's a strong reducing agent. Now, there is a principle called a reactivity selectivity principle. Reactivity selectivity principle. That reactivity selectivity principle states that a substance which is more reactive is less selective. A substance which is more reactive is less selective. Means reactivity is inversely proportional to selectivity. This principle in short states that reactivity is inversely proportional to selectivity. It's inversely proportional to selectivity. Greater the selectivity, less is reactivity. Now this is a strong reducing agent. It's highly reducing agent. Highly reducing agent. Means it's highly reactive reducing agent. It is highly reactive reducing agent. If it is highly reactive reducing agent, means it is less selective. It is less selective. What does this mean? We will take examples and discuss this part over there. What is highly reactive, less selective? Means, for example, if we have a compound, if this compound contains carbon-carbon double bond, it contains carbonyl group. Now, unsaturated part in a compound gets reduced. This is an unsaturated part, this is an unsaturated part. If you have a highly reducing agent, it can reduce both this part and this part. That's why it is less selective. It cannot be used for this reaction if you have only to reduce ketonic group. We'll see its example. We have one more reducing agent, that is sodium borohydrate. Number second is NaBH4. NaBH4 is written as Na positive, B, H, H, H and H negative. It's also hydride ion donor. It's also a good reducing agent, but it is not highly reactive reducing agent. It's a more selective reducing agent. More selective reducing agent. It's a more selective reducing agent. More selective means, for example, if you have a compound over here, you have a compound like this. In this compound, you have a ketonic group and you have an alkene. You want only to reduce this ketonic group and not the alkene. You use more selective reducing agent. For example, if I have this compound, I want to reduce this ketonic group, I will use more selective reducing agent. I want to preserve this alkene group, I cannot use lithium aluminum hydrate. I have to use more selective reducing agent and less reactive, which is particularly meant for this type of group. We will discuss those examples. These are basic terms in reduction what are required. I am discussing only those. One more type of reducing agent that will be of our need over here is dipole H. Number third is, this was second, number third is dipole H. Dipole H. Now what is dipole H? It is diisopropyl aluminum hydride. That's why I asked you to remember the name of isopropyl group, the structure of isopropyl group. Now here it comes, it has to play its role. It is diisopropyl aluminum hydride. This is diisopropyl aluminum hydride. Diisopropyl aluminum hydride. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Diisopropyl. I said you that this group, this is isopropyl group, diisopropyl aluminum hydride. It is also hydride donor. It is very important reducing agent. It works at less temperature, at low temperature. Usually it works at low temperature, that is temperature of minus 78 degrees centigrade. Particularly it is used for the reduction of esters, to alcohols. Now what are esters? This is called, we'll see later on what are esters. I'll tell you a trick. Now see, and it is one more application. It is used for the reduction of nitriles or C triple bond and nitriles or cyanides to alcohol. These are the applications of diol H. We have a number of other reducing agents. We have catalytic reducing agents. We use catalytic reducing agents. We have catalytic reducing agents, hydrogen, that is used for reduction in presence of catalysts such as platinum, such as nickel, or we have hydrogen in presence of PtO2, that's Adams catalyst. This is called Adams catalyst. These are catalytic reduction. We bring about reduction of compounds in presence of these. We have one more, that's called Wilkinson catalyst. This Wilkinson's catalyst is beryllium PPH3 whole thrice Cl. This is Wilkinson catalyst. Now it's also used in some reactions for reduction, particularly reduction for terminal alkynes. We will discuss those types of reactions. We will discuss other reducing agents when they come, when we are going to study certain reactions. There will come a number of other reducing agents. We will discuss them at that stage. Now see, I will do here mechanism of reduction. For example, I have a carbonyl compound. This is my carbonyl compound. It contains this is carbonyl compound, C double bond O. These are two valencies. If one valency is at least one valency, or both the valencies are satisfied by hydrogen, then it's aldehyde. Or if only one valency is satisfied by hydrogen, either by any other group, that's alkyl group, aryl group, this is also aldehyde. If both the valencies are satisfied by groups other than hydrogen, then it's ketone. Now this is our aldehyde because one valency is at least satisfied by hydrogen. Now bring about reduction. Treat with reducing agent. Any reducing agent, I am not discussing it in this lecture. I will discuss the reactions in the next lecture. I will discuss general mechanism. Reducing agent gives us what? H negative ion. This H negative ion is obtained from reducing agent. For example, it's obtained from lithium aluminum hydride. This lithium aluminum hydride gives us H negative ion. Now this H negative ion attacks on this carbon atom because this is a polar bond. This bond can break towards oxygen. It attacks over here. We get RCO negative. This hydrogen is attacked over here. Hydrogen. Now see what happens in the next step. Work up starts. Work up means reaction with mild acids, reaction with water. Work up means reaction with water. That means proton abstraction from water. We get RCOH H2. This is our alcohol what we have got. This is the mechanism. It is quite simple. I will discuss these reactions in next lecture. Thanks for watching.